Mr. Matlala, do you have those files?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Asim, we're still trying to sort ourselves.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's carry on.
Okay, Mr. Matlala, what I want to begin with is you recall on the 2nd of August, you provided us with a statement in response to the Regulation 10.6 notice, right? Right? Do you recall?
August,
Yes.
the first or the second statement.
Yes, the statement of the 2nd of August.
Is it the first one or the second one? I think I gave the first one in the supplementary statement.
The first one.
The first one.
So
So which file will it be in?
that will be in file 1, and the file is described Regulation 10.6 notice.
Yes, I have it.
You've got
Yes,
that,
yes.
right? So that was in response to the Regulation 10.6 notice that was sent to you on the 8th of June. You've already gone through parts of it with my colleague, Advocate Sello. You'll recall she took you paragraph by paragraph, comparing the questions in the notice to your answers. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Now, what I would like to turn to from that notice is the question that was put to you at 2.2. So 2.2 was requested you to explain your history and relationship with a list of law enforcement officials that were, the names were contained in Schedule A to that notice. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And then there was, under 2.2, there were 7 subset of questions for you to answer, beginning with, do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And then you responded on the 2nd of August. And again, you'd recall that when you testified here, you went through those responses in relation to several individuals, but not all of the individuals that were listed in Schedule A.
Yes.
Okay. So you were then requested to supplement your statement in respect of the remainder of the individuals. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
And then you provided us with a supplementary statement over the weekend in which you dealt with question 2.2 again. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember.
So I just want to go to that supplementary statement then. And that's in file 10 of the file marked application for immunity. And your affidavit begins at page 3 of that file. Okay. Now, if you can turn specifically to page 13. Paragraph 68, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
And you say, I deal here under with each of the listed law enforcement officials set out in Schedule A, attached to the notice in terms of Regulation 10.6 and 15. You see there, you scroll down and page through the next couple of pages of this statement, page 14 and 15. You see there, you deal with Minister Mchunu, former Minister Beki Cele, former General Pahlane, and Lieutenant General Mkhonazi, Lieutenant General Fani, and Major General Khan. And then my learned friend, I believe yesterday, raised a question with you about why General Sibia was not included in
Yes, I
this
remember.
response. And then you had an exchange and there were questions in relation to General Sibia. I'll come back to that at a later point. I'm not going there now. What I would like to put to you is that what you have omitted to address in these paragraphs is the response to Major General Senona. So
Yes.
in both of the statements, you didn't provide a response to the Commission to the questions in 2.2 of the notice regarding Major General Senona. Why is that?
It is because I've had a consultation with the police, and then they served me with a document that says that they're investigating myself and General Senona.
In relation to what?
I don't know. Here is the document that I have, and I gave a copy to my legal counsel.
Have you provided that to us
Yes,
before?
I did. To my legal counsel, yes.
Because we've not seen any response from you on why it is you don't address the General Senona questions.
Yes, I didn't respond because of it was under investigation. So why it's not here in the affidavit, that I do not know. But I know the reason why I did not respond to it is because it's under investigation.
But what in particular is under investigation? I don't
Yes.
know what you're referring to.
Yes, here's the copy of the document here. I think you can check it yourself.
Okay. Do you have a copy of this document?
Yes.
The commissioners don't, so I would need to provide this to the commissioners as well. And we'll need to make copies for the commissioners.
It's okay, yes.
But for now, why don't you tell me in your own words what it is that's under investigation?
My contact with General Senona, so I wouldn't know what are they investigating. They just said corruption, a couple of things which I wouldn't know exactly which part are they going to concentrate on.
But corruption was specifically mentioned.
Yes, yes.
Chair, I'd have to look at this closely in order to establish exactly what the remit of this investigation is. But I hear you saying that it's a subject of an investigation. I'm going to go through a series of questions with you with regard to General Senona. You can explain to us if there's any question you feel you need to assert your privilege against self-incrimination as we go through it. Do you understand?
It's okay.
Thank you. You have been provided with WhatsApp exchanges between you and General Senona. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you've been provided with the statement of General Senona and transcripts of his evidence that have been provided to the Commission.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And have you read those documents?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. You also testified in the ad hoc committee about your relationship with Major General Senona. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
So let's start at the beginning. You met General Senona at his wedding in Mamelodi in about 2018 or 2019, correct?
It's not Mamelodi, first of all. I think maybe there's a mistake.
Okay, so can you tell us then, when did you meet General Senona for the first time?
It was in Soshanguve, but like I said, Advocate Hasim, that this subject is under investigation, so I do not know what are they investigating. So
Is your
my
meeting...
my relationship, sorry to interrupt you, I don't know if I can proceed or you want.
Please proceed.
Because I had an interview with the police, so those questions that you're asking me now, they also asked me, they came to CMEX to consult with me, and it's a good thing because of your investigators. It's easy for you to verify that because they are the Matlala tax team investigators. You can verify with them yourself that they've consulted with
There's
me.
no such thing as the Matlala task.
Tashkok commander. Takchok.
Yes.
Okay, this investigation team, tax team.
Right.
So yes, those same questions that you're asking me now, I've been asked about from when did I meet the first time when I met him, any gratifications, a lot of things they've asked me about, which I think I rather wait for them to see how far are they with their investigations.
So,
But those people were from SAPS.
Yes, I even know their names and
All right.
yes.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Matlala, you would have heard the exchanges we've had over the last few days regarding the assertion of your privilege against self-incrimination.
Yes.
And I understand that you wish to assert your rights, but it's not permissible for you to assert your rights against an entire category or entire subject matter. So there are some questions that I'm going to put to you that, although they are within the broad engagement of your relationship with General Senona, may not implicate you in any way. So you'll need to listen to my questions as I go through it and answer the questions as to the best of your ability, subject to your rights, of course. So the first question I'm asking you is, when did you meet General Senona? Your answer to that question, are you saying just by answering that question, you will be implicating yourself in a criminal offense?
Yes, I will advocate. So that's why I'm choosing the right to remain silent, because the same question. So I don't mind you asking about General Senona, but I will refer to if this is questions which I was not asked by the investigators, it's okay. But those questions, I think they've got notes, and then you can verify with them, because like I said, they are the police. They will tell you yes or not or no. But this, like the first question that you just asked me now is the question that they also asked me. When was the first time that I met with him? So I do not know why are they asking me that question. They might want to use it to build their case regarding that question. I don't know that. So I rather choose to remain silent because I do not know what is the intention of that question.
Just a moment, Ms. Hassim. Ms. Matlala, I went through this with you when we were discussing General Sibiya. And I thought we had moved past this because in relation to General Sibiya, although you did say that there are aspects of your relationship with him that are under investigation, you accepted that you could tell us when and how you know him. But on those aspects where answers you give might expose you to criminal investigation or to charges, you will assert your rights there. We're sitting here as a commission of inquiry, and the difficulty I have is that we have a lot of questions for you. Many witnesses have come before the commission to testify, and they have made certain allegations against you. And you coming here is an opportunity for you to give your side of the story. If you elect not to give your side of the story, having been invited to come here, the only evidence we have as the commission is the evidence of those people who implicate you. But you are within your rights to say, I assert my privilege. But I have serious difficulty with you saying, I can't tell you whether I know General Senona or not, and whether I met him at a wedding or not, when nothing about the wedding is the subject matter of any criminal investigation. If it's background information, and I'm sure the investigators, when they first spoke to you, they wanted background information. Do you know this person? How do you know the person? But that has nothing to do with whether you are involved in criminal activity with him. It's simply background information to understand whether they should even ask you any further questions about the person. Because if you say, I don't know the person, then that's the end of the inquiry. So you can imagine that when they first engage with you, they will start with, do you know this person? How do you know this person? Before they get to the substance of what they want to ask you about. So it will make our job very difficult if the entire subject matter is off the table, because to be honest with you, most of the questions that I intended to ask you, I know that they touch on issues that you intend to assert privilege on. But it can be that in respect of everything, you assert privilege, because then we're not going to make any progress. I had understood you that you accepted that in relation to General Sibia, how you knew him. You even testified about the 4 occasions, including the party at his house and the engagement party. So if you could answer those questions, I'm not sure why in relation to General Senona you cannot answer the same questions. So I would expect that the question that was asked, you will answer it, because answering it does not impact on your Section 35 rights or, your privilege arising from the Commissions Act and the regulations.
The meeting, one, I would understand if, for example, the meeting, your first meeting with General Senona was about criminality. Take this example. The two of you have agreed to pool the greatest cash in transit, highest in South Africa, and you say it will be quite discreet if we meet at my wedding. Nobody will suspect anything, but you and I will steal a moment and have a discussion about the highest, do our planning. So they would understand if you don't want to come anywhere near the a discussion of your first meeting with General Senona. I'll be surprised if you want to suggest that that very first meeting already concerned any possible or alleged criminality for you to be refusing to answer any questions that relate to that very first meeting between the two of you. Then, secondly, I want to disabuse your mind of any possible apprehension about this so-called Madlanga task, what team? Yes. That entity was wrongly or incorrectly named. It has nothing to do with Madlanga. It's SAPS that chose to name their task team, which they as SAPS are using to investigate matters that emanate from issues that were debated before the Commission, or in respect of which the Commission made referrals. That's SAPS 100%. All the Commission would have done in certain instances would just be to make referrals. So it's SAPS acting as SAPS, and at that level, after the referrals, the Commission has no role to play whatsoever. So you kept saying, to get answers, because I was already asked questions of this nature by this Matlala task team. You can get the answers in that regard from the task team. They are not the commission. The commission has its own mandate and it wants to establish facts for itself. So you cannot refer the commission to that task team, which is SAPS, and which the commission has nothing to do with after it has reached the point of, we are now referring these matters to SAPS. SAPS then acts as SAPS, not as the commission. I thought I should just disabuse your mind of any possible misapprehension in that regard. Now, having heard what Commissioner Kumalo said, perhaps I will ask Ms. Hassim to repeat her question, and hopefully this time we'll get an answer.
I wanted to comment on the...
Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
Kumalu.
Oh, yes, you may.
Because he was saying that introduction, but so my question, my concern actually is, why will the police ask me about when there was the first time I met? He's relevant to them. They wouldn't just ask me a question just because they want to pass time. So I do not want to undermine the investigation and end up incriminating myself by saying things before they can even get there. So I am not comfortable actually answering these questions. I also find myself in a very bad space because I did not invite them to come and serve me with this document, and I did not plan for it to happen. So it just happened, and they even went further and had a consultation with myself, asked me a lot of questions, which my lawyer, my attorney, who's not present now in court, in the commission, I assume he has those notes, I think. So I do not know whether it is a wise move to comment while there's an ongoing investigation, which I'm aware of, unless if it's something that has nothing to do with that investigation, then I'll be happy to comment on that.
Mr. Matlala, for what it's worth, you, before the commission, you have only two bases that excuse you lawfully from answering questions. It is it's privileged information between you and your lawyers, and therefore you refuse to answer on that basis. The law recognizes that. Two, you have the privilege not to self-incriminate. Those are the two legally recognized bases on which you may refuse to answer questions. If it doesn't fall within those two categories, then you are simply refusing to answer questions, and the law requires that you answer questions. If your position is, I refuse, it's what the commission has to deal with. The law regulates what happens when we deal with a witness who refuses to answer questions on grounds that are not recognized in the law. So it's not open to you to refuse, and that's the end of the discussion. It does have consequences, and I think you should be alerted to that you have an obligation to answer satisfactorily, subject to the two exceptions. And you must place yourself within the two exceptions for you to be excused from answering. Otherwise, you are a witness who refuses to answer questions, and it has its own consequences on you. So maybe you need to be clear. If it's a case of, I don't want to answer the question, then we engage with you, and Ms. Hassim engages with you on that basis. Your legal advisors will also tell you what is the consequence of that. I assume they have done so. But I think be under no misapprehension. Outside of the two exceptions, you are not entitled to say, I don't want to answer a question because I was asked the same question by the police. Go get your answers from the police, which is, it's strange that you would even say that, because if you say go get the answers from the police, it means you don't object to us having those answers. If we had the means to demand from the people that interviewed you, if you are happy for us to get that information and we had the means to get it from them, it really means you do not have any principal objection to answering those questions or us having access to those answers. The long and short of what I'm saying is you have only two exceptions that would justify you in law to refuse to answer questions. Otherwise, you are a witness who's refusing to cooperate and to provide satisfactory answers, and the Commission will have to deal with you on that basis. I don't know if you want to comment, if you have anything to say.
Yes, I wish to. Firstly, Commissioner, I said not get answers from the police. I said you can verify if indeed they ask me questions. I did not say you must get the answers from them. So
Okay, my misunderstanding.
I need to clarify that. And I'm not here because I want to frustrate the process of the Commission. I also want to help, but I also need to know where I stand legally, that whatever I do, it won't implicate me. So since there's an ongoing investigation, which I'm aware of, so I thought that there's a legal base on why I do not want to answer that question. So it's not like I do not want to because of I don't care what. So it's not like that. So I said if there is a question that it involves General Senona, but it's not part of what they are investigating, I'm willing to answer that question. So I do not know, because the same question that I've been asked here, I've been asked by the same people who are investigating the case. So now, what is the intention about the question? I do not know that. So.
Maybe lastly from me, whatever further engagement Ms. Hassim is going to have with you on this, that perhaps you should also be reminded and be mindful that you have testified before the ad hoc committee on relating to not just General Senona. You asked specific questions, you answered, and that's a public record. So some of the questions will not be placing new matter before the Commission that is not previously available to the public, and that which you testified to in the ad hoc committee, we are entitled to put it to you. There's nothing that says we can't put it to you. It's up to you how you choose to respond to it. But it is material that is before us. You have testified to under oath, and we are entitled to put it to you. So the topic of General Senona is not off the table, can never be off the table. You have been advised from the commissioners, hopefully from your legal team, but you've also heard the evidence leaders say that there's no umbrella topics that are off the table. You have to listen to each question and then say why that question would implicate you, an answer to that question would implicate you. And you unfortunately have to do it that painful way of each question, state why that would implicate you. It's not clear, for example, to me, why repeating the answer you gave to the ad hoc committee of when you met General in unlawful conduct, because that's how it must work. I give you that answer, it potentially discloses my involvement in unlawful conduct, because that's how it must work. So finally, I think there is no basis. I agree with the chairperson and with Commissioner Khumalo that you can't, in a blanket way, refuse to answer questions just because the police have interviewed you and you've got that letter. You can't refuse to answer any question related to General Senona, and I don't understand you to be saying that. You should listen to the question and answer per question, including saying, I won't answer because the answer to that will implicate me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Barroy. Is there something you wish to say in response?
Yes, I wanted to ask now, will I ever be afforded the chance to, if I see there's a question that will implicate myself, that will I be afforded the chance to say, no, this question I'm not comfortable answering, it will implicate myself?
Okay.
I'm saying regarding General Senona, so if there is a question that it will implicate myself, because now I do not know how I should. The thing is, I do not know the difference between which right I must invoke, which privilege must I invoke. So I do not know how now I must move forward with this. I do not know.
The idea of the engagement was not at all to stop you from asserting your privilege where that's warranted. That's not the idea. But what we are engaging you on is that to the extent that there may be questions around or about General Senona that do not bear relevance to any possible or alleged criminality, which is what the basis for asserting the privilege would be, then there is no reason or basis for you not to answer the questions. But you know better, you are in a better position to know that, but once we get there, now that does entitle me to assert my privilege. So we are not suggesting that for as long as we are talking about General Senona, then you are barred from asserting your privilege. That is not what this engagement was intended to achieve, not at all. That's not the idea. Our engagement basically, and that's why I even gave the example of the cash in transit hide. Our engagement was merely to say, the fact have asked you questions about General Senona does not in and of itself entitle you to raise or to assert the privilege in respect of anything that relates to General Senona. Some of the questions that you may have been asked may not bear relevance to whatever criminality it is that they are investigating. For example, I think it does make sense that you would start somewhere when interviewing someone, and that starting point may not necessarily in and of itself bear relevance to what is actually investigated. I guess one could even relate it to a conversation. Sometimes when you are engaging in a conversation with people, you do not just go straight to, some people do, but sometimes you will introduce it, but it's not really the crux of what you want to address. So the question, when did you meet General Senona for the first time, may not necessarily relate to whatever it is they are actually investigating. So it's at that level that we were engaging you. And you know better at what point does it get closer to what you understand the alleged criminality to be or to be about. You know that better. But if it was a meeting at a wedding, and you know from where you are sitting whether there was or there wasn't any possible criminality, I do not see why you cannot answer the question as to where and when you first met General Senona. I do not. Unless, again, it goes to my example of the heist, where the very meeting at the wedding would have been intended to discuss the heist. Do you see the distinction I'm drawing? So, to answer your question directly, no, we are not suggesting that you cannot assert your privilege. insofar as General Senona is concerned. We are not suggesting that at all. We are just saying that surely that privilege cannot be applicable to any and every question that has something to do with General Senona. That's all we are saying. I hope that clarifies it.
Yeah, oh, thanks, Chairperson, but the heist was a very bad example.
I had to give an example to try to drive the point home, Mr. Matlala.
No, thank you. I'll do it when it's time for me to assert my privileges.
Yes,
Thanks.
please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matlala. So, I mean, you have been listening to the exchanges we've been having regarding the question of the ambit of your right. And I think just to further clarify for you, your right is not a general right to remain silent in the Commission. So that's why we say to you that you need to answer each question unless that question again. My question to you was about your meeting with General Senona and the committee. Do you recall that?
Yes, I recall that.
So can you tell us when you met General Senona and where?
Yes, it was in the wedding, but the date I don't remember, but it was before 2020. Before 2020, yes.
Sorry, are you saying it was in 2020 or before 2020?
Before, yes. Because 2020, I remember it because of the pandemic, so it was before that.
Okay, so, and that you said was at the wedding.
Yes.
And so you spoke to him on that day.
Yes, I did.
And did you exchange numbers that day?
No.
When did you exchange numbers?
On a later stage.
Do you recall when?
I don't recall when, but also Mr. General Senona also, he's from the same, I'll say, as a township as Mr. Msibi. So I knew him because sometimes he will be with Mr. Msibi, and then that's how I knew I got to I would say get closer to him.
Okay, so you met him at his wedding, but your introduction, the reason you went to the wedding wasn't because Mr. Msibi introduced you.
No, it's
that
not.
was, and then you're saying that your relationship grew closer with the assistance of Mr. Msibi because he had a relationship with General Senona.
Not with his assistance, because I think it was the funeral of, they are from the same township, so he was at the funeral of Mr. Msibi's mother. And then I was sitting, after the funeral, I was sitting with him on the same table, where after the funeral, we were eating them, then I was on the same table with him.
With General Senona?
Yes.
Right. So I get that. So you became friends? At some point you exchanged numbers.
Yes,
so you
but
weren't only meeting him at weddings and funerals.
that's my big, but not friends, because he's my, I'll say, an older brother.
Okay. All right. So you would have seen that in the ad hoc committee, you've in fact described him in Parliament. You said you described him as your big brother, right?
I don't remember, but I'll take it, yes.
And in your conversations with him in the WhatsApp chats, you describe him as Nduna.
I just refer to everybody as Nduna, just not only him.
Not just him, okay.
Yes.
But you've got a respectful and friendly relationship with him.
Yes, I do have.
And you communicated with each other regularly.
Yes, yeah, yes, sir. Yes, yes.
And so, I mean, can you identify at what point you began to communicate more regularly? So after you'd first met?
I'll say maybe after the funeral of Mr. Mesibi's mother.
And when was that?
Maybe 2021, 2021 maybe.
Okay. All right. And then you arranged to meet with him when you went to Durban from time to time. Is that right?
When I did what?
You arranged to meet with him when you traveled to Durban.
Yes, I did, yes.
And you also would arrange to meet with him when he traveled to Pretoria.
Yes.
And when you met with him in Pretoria, the meeting place, did you have a common meeting place? And let me say that firstly, was that common meeting place Menlyn Main? Is that where